So for the first day, I'm going to get this. I'm not going to tear it all down, I don't think. I might get to that point. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to tear apart pretty much everything off the case. It's almost there already. And then I'm going to get my timing numbers. I'm going to throw some stuff in the ultrasonic. I'm going to get my list for parts I need. So one thing about these 064s is they're basically the same saw as the early 066. I believe the cases are even the same. I think it's kind of top end and a few smaller parts related. I know the gasket sets when you buy them say 064, early 066. And I mean, taking this apart and everything is exactly like that 066 I put together not all that long ago. So here's something I would recommend taking a picture of. This is when taking a picture is, I would say, necessary. It's got two flywheel slots. You can see this first one here is the one being used. I don't remember the exact reasoning behind the second one. I mean, obviously if you put it on the second one, you're going to advance the timing a shit ton. But this is one of those things that I would tell myself, oh, I'm going to remember that. And then 2 weeks from now, when I'm putting this flywheel back on, when the saw's all done, I'll get to that point and go, I don't remember which one it was. So what's going to happen is I take a picture, that's going to happen to me, and then I'm going to look through my phone and go, maybe I took a picture of that. And I did, and I'll have my answer. So I got the starter all apart, this chain brake stuff all apart. This is nearly done. I'm going to have to order a new tube kit here because they're rock hard, and if I'm going to take this pump off, which I am, I'm going to need a new one. I know I even took the spring out of the little housing they come in. Just because I can't stand when you have a rebuilt ported saw and the starter's all squeaky and stuff. I just can't stand that. I want it to be nice and smooth like a brand new saw. So I got everything recorded, everything done. All I gotta do is pull the piston off, split the case. Stock squish ended up being with no gasket, ended up being 25 thousandths. But so something bad with no gasket, that's how much skirt I have to use. This is not a lot of skirt. I mean, I'm thinking maybe I could do, I don't know, 30 to 40 thousandths, and I might get a very, very slight free port. Which I don't know the numbers I'm going to use yet on this saw. I'm thinking it's probably going to end up quite a bit like the 460 I did, and maybe a little bit like the last 660 I did. Which in that case, that's good because the exhaust on this is already at 102. I mean, the intake needs to drop 6-7 degrees. And so I'm not going to be able to do that with all machining with only that much skirt. Definitely won't be able to. But the exhaust will probably end up, off the top of my head, I'm thinking like around 103, 104. So I might be able to pull the compression off of this I want to by lowering the drug if I'm using those numbers. I don't know yet what caused this saw to end its life. Can't see there. Something got in the case, and like I was telling you about the guy I bought it from, would not surprise me if he pulled the top end off of it, did some crap to it, accidentally left something in there and exploded. So I got the case all split. Now, I've never seen this before, and as far as I understand, it definitely should not be like this. These bearings are shielded, and this one's an NTN brand, which is basically like cheap China brand. This one has no markings on it, but it's also got that same cover. It's just rusted. So that's really weird. So would that get too hot, you think? There's no oil over here? Or, no, it doesn't make sense. There's no oil getting in the bearing. Bearing would get hot. They're supposed to be unshielded because an oil gets on them. Which is weird. On the front side of this one, it says SKF, Italy. I'd find it hard to believe you could get a shield bearing in an SKF with the extra lip built in it for the seal, which is what steel does. I don't know about that one. This is strange. I expected to see a bearing, like a ball missing or something, or a broken bearing. It's starting to look like that guy's handiwork. Shielded bearings, left something in the crankcase, started it up, exploded like an idiot. That's it for tonight. I'm going to put this one in the ultrasonic. This one's trash. Everything else is in the ultrasonic already. Tomorrow I'll clean up the piston. It's in great shape. A little bit of scoring on this side. Nothing crazy. And something hit the lip. But that'll clean up real easy. Intake side doesn't matter anyways. There's one last thing. Oh, and the cylinder. The cylinder's in great shape. It looks just like a 066. So, got most of the parts clean. Still need to get this bearing out of here, but this is all clean now. About an hour and a half in the ultrasonic, then I hosed it down. You know, I think the reason the paint kind of bubbles up on these, which it didn't on this, I think it's the heat. I'm running the ultrasonic now at 45, and that seems to be good. It's hot, it's warm, but it's not too hot. This paint here actually just kind of flaked off, but nothing bubbled. I think I had it too hot when I did that 084. But I was checking into my coil and flywheel that came on this saw, and there's a huge number of setups that came on these saws. The one I have is the dual key, which can take multiple different coils. So if I needed a new coil for this, I could use one of the 1300 series coils, which came on several of the older saws, the 026, 029, the 036, 044. Anyways, so actually, luckily I had one of those coils, which is unlimited, so that's great. But this coil wire was lead wire, spark plug wire was in poor shape. And look at this, I pulled the tape off. What a great fix. So I'm going to be fixing this. I'm kind of thinking of dyeing these black for Max. Might be kind of cool. I could dye this black, I could dye the top cover black, I could dye the carb surround black, and then I could leave this orange. It'll show a little on the sides. It might look neat, or maybe I'll just spray paint it black. I don't know, I kind of like the thought of two-tone. I could even do the tank black too. I don't know. Maybe I'll just do the top covers. What do you guys think? Dyed top covers? So I'm going to go ahead and replace this spark plug wire. So you want to strip a little bit back and then fold it up. And sorry, I don't have my tripod. I think it's in my truck or something, and I keep forgetting to look for it. But then you want to put this on so that it's going to touch those wires there. So not only do you get contact here, you get it up in the front. It's going to go like that. And then before I do that, actually, I'm going to slide this wire on through the boot here. I'm going to put this on, and then I'm going to pull it back over. I find that to be easier than trying to shove this on. Okay, there's the new spark plug wire. I'm going to slip over some heat shrink over this, and then kind of tighten it up, but not completely tighten it for shielding. And then this just threads onto here. It doesn't actually thread, but these have like a kind of like a barbed kind of screw in there, and so you gotta actually screw it on. Okay, so I got the bearing out. I went ahead and heated the case up like I usually do, hammered it out. This is that same style. I have to use the oil pump to set the depth of the new bearing. So, I mean, I think next I'm gonna start on the porting, and then I need to get a crankcase half. I've got a line on a couple of them. Just gotta basically wait for the guy to send me pictures, and then I'll be good to go there. I gotta order my parts on eBay still, so there's probably gonna be a period of time where I'm waiting on parts. So I got it all zeroed out in the lathe. I'm gonna go ahead and clean it up. Almost done. I'm gonna get the sides here too. It's just gonna require 2 hands. And there it is. I don't know why it came out kind of splotchy like that. It must be slightly pitted or something, but the intake side's got a little bit of something on there, but I can't even feel it with my hand. It's fine. And something kind of right there, that spot. I'm thinking the case probably blew up because it ate something, and then it hit something right there. But it'll be fine. I'm going to make sure that's good and smooth before I put it back in the saw. But on the intake side, it's going to be just fine. If this was a customer saw, I would probably replace it. And in this situation, I'd probably use a Meteor. But it'd be their decision. But I think this piston's perfectly fine. So I went ahead and decided to make a 6203 bearing punch. Really didn't take me that long. Eventually I'll probably cut it in half to about here, and then I can use the bottom half for something else. But yeah, I just brought it down to size. It fits perfect in there. I mean, there's just a tiny bit of play, which is fine. And then I made it just slightly smaller in diameter than the bearing. So if I punch it with this, it's punching actually on the outside race and the inside compared to like just doing the inside. That'll be nice to have now. So my new grip came in. Got it installed. Looks great. So the tank's all clean. And look at this fuel filter. I don't think this saw was ever rebuilt. That's quite a long time for a saw not to get rebuilt. So I had found out. So when I first opened this up and saw these NTN shielded bearings, I thought, wow, who did that? Shielded bearings don't belong in a saw. Well, actually, some of the older Steels and even older saws prior to that, like Pioneers, actually did come from the factory with shielded bearings. That was news to me. I've never heard of that. Apparently, there was a run of saws with Steel that did it for a bit. It didn't really work out. I guess the theory behind it was it might keep the bearings cleaner, but in reality, it just trapped dirt in there. So that's interesting. But look at this fuel filter. That's insane. So this is kind of cool. So this is the one from the 064. Weighs 16 grams. I don't know what this came off of, but it's the same exact size, but it's skinnier. And it actually looks like it gets thicker in the middle. 14 grams. So I read before that there is a lighter and heavier of the wrist pins for some steels. Why, I have no idea. I don't know where these come from, but I'm going to use this lighter one, save a couple grams on the wrist pin. I think that's a pretty good deal. I don't know what it came off of. I just started digging through my parts and one matched up and it was lighter. Alright, so it took me a little while to get this 064 jug in the fixture. I had to drill some new holes on a plate, and then I just eyeballed it for now in the chuck, and I'm actually not too far off. See? Alright, now I got it all set up. Really wasn't the most difficult. Took a little while, but not too bad. Okay, so I got my boring bar on. Got my dial indicator set up. You know, that one there and this one over here. Let's go ahead and make a cut. And that's my squish bang cut.